on the screen, for beginners. So if you've never done voice acting, this is perfect for you. If you've done it before, then you probably know most of it. But you're still welcome. And yeah, I would love for her to share her experience, do's and don'ts, and other shenanigans. And we have the great pusher of buttons, Prof. Give him a little applause, please. And yes, his favorite is cleaning them, so if it's not obvious. Yeah?
Nothing immediately comes to mind, but yes, we discovered her. But it's the best way I could describe it.
Yeah.
And when we saw her for the first time on the panel, we had to have her.
Next slide, please. So, let's get some of the boring stuff out of the way. I guess you can explain the first one. I think that's the one you use.
Yes, Audacity. It's free and relatively simple to use. At least the very basics are there. Very, very basics. Record, noise reduction, things like that. That will help you to experiment and figure out how you want to sound. Also, there are a million tutorials and also quite a lot of plugins you can add if you're looking for something specific. Everyone uses it slightly differently. Visual Pony, my husband for instance, uses a slightly older version, so he can, every time he records, it jumps to another new track and things. So it is perfect for someone who is able to figure out how they want to use it. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, it's the most beginner-friendly program that you can get your hooves on. Highly recommended. I still use it. I even come across some professionals that still uses it. So just because it's free doesn't mean it's bad. The other one that you can see, which I call the carrot, almost stabbed somebody in the eye there, sorry, is called FL Studio. You can record in it, but it's mainly for making music, recording your vocals, and mixing them together. But you can also use it for voice acting. It is a very good studio with a lot of plugins, a lot of music. So if you want to buy something that can do more, but you also do music or singing, then that is another recommendation, but it costs money. So Audacity is your go-to if you're new to this. Next one, please. Recording space, very important, very important. I remember you having just moved and didn't have a proper recording space. So do you remember what I recommended you to do that you ended up doing?
Throwing a blanket over me in the mic?
Yep.
Yeah. So it looked like a little tent, just like with the stories I was reading on my phone going, recording, and then throwing it off again whenever I needed to stop or pause. It works. It very much works. It's just maybe a little bit of a hassle.
Yeah.
But starting out is good.
Can anyone think of any reason to why she had to throw a blanket over her mic and herself?
To prevent echo.
One more time?
To prevent echo.
That is one of them, yes. Blanket?
I was about to say the same thing, just worded slightly differently.
Yeah.
Preventing reflections.
Yeah, reflections. Because echo and reflections are the same things, but with different words. Another thing is that you can also hear the other sounds around yourself that comes in. You have no idea how many times I have needed to not disassemble, but pull the plug on my refrigerator or the air conditioner or my washing machine because the sound of the or the that you normally don't hear actually gets picked up on the recording because you have to have a high setting due to maybe doing whispering or other silent things because the mics are very sensitive.
Very sensitive. I mean, you can get ones that are less sensitive, but even then, they'll pick up things you won't even think about. I mean,
Somebody walking,
someone talking, if your window's open, and
Birds.
there's like birds, dogs, cats, anything. Just the street, yeah.
life itself.
Yeah. The amount of times where I've just been like, I can't record today because there's just too much noise around me. And I'm like, nope, not happening today.
You know what also is one of the most annoying thing a lot of people don't think about,
Hmm?
the clothing.
Yes. You're moving your clothing, depending on what you're wearing, can just be picked up.
Necklaces and earrings and even
Yeah.
glasses
Yeah.
can be really annoying. So what you can see is that using wool blankets, going into a closet, you also have those egg cartons, as I call it. What's the name?
I can sign.
The woodly thing, you know.
Oh,
Those, yeah.
sign. To be honest, I can't call them egg cartons as well.
Do you remember?
That's what we call them in Germany, it's the official name. So,
Oh, the official name is egg cartons.
at
Okay.
least what I'm used to it. In my
Uh-huh.
language, I'm not sure what the English name is.
Black in, you know this, probably.
Let's find out.
Those in the middle, those you get on your wall.
Yeah,
What's they called?
just like foam pads.
Foam hats, there you go.
Okay, yeah, that works.
Those are really nice. You can get them super cheap or you can get high quality one. That's up to you. Those are recommended. You can also see they are similar in the little box next to Silver Quill. If you guys know him from America, he's a YouTuber. Those little box is from old time music, portable vocal booths that he has recommended. And yes, I asked him it's okay that I continue to include this in the slide. Those are portable, where you can record on the spot if you need. Of course, you don't get the best super quality, but you get good enough if you are doing like an audio for, what's it called, the thing I did.
You've done a lot of things, Chris.
The thing I did for you. Audio dramas. If you're doing for audio dramas or maybe even audiobooks. They work very well. You can see two different versions there. You can also do what I did back at home, because on the farm we have houses that are not really in use. So what I did was taking all the wool blankets I could find and passing them all over the walls and floors and everywhere, over all type of furnitures, just so I could have as little echo or reverb or bouncing back and forth as possible.
It looked like a fort. It was quite impressive.
Yeah, you've seen it. So maybe I should include that in next upgrade,
Not a bad
a
idea.
little fort. Do you have any other recommendations that you know of?
Be aware of your computer sounds.
Oh yeah.
I have a computer, especially a gaming computer. Now, admittedly, I don't usually record on that one, but on occasion I have to. And you do have to be aware that sometimes that'll be picked up, especially if it's just revving up for some weird reason, usually a Windows update that's going on in the background. So do be aware of that, because that alone can also just completely ruin a recording.
Mm.
But there's not really much you can do about that part.
Yeah. I understand. You also have the thing of. No, that's with the mics. Never mind. Next, please. There's the mics. Ah, I knew it was close. The thing I will talk about a little bit before we get into the types, and I see I need to do some more editing. There's some missing
Oh,
script, but I'll fix that for next time if you come and watch.
It's more like the screen is cutting it off from the.
Okay, so it's nice on the.
Yeah, but here it's cut off a little bit.
Okay. The thing is, there are two types of mics you can use. You can use what I use, which is a USB mic. That means it has a USB connector and it connects directly into the computer. It's nice, it's good, professionals use it and some professionals don't, because after a while you can develop a small humming sound because it's going directly into the PC, which is why some prefer to use a condenser.
condenser. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Whoever said it, I don't know. Thank you very much. Because that gets rid of it and it goes into the condenser, which is a nice little box, and then it takes another cable into the computer. It gets rid of that. So what we have first here is the Blue Snow Ice, which is, I don't know what price it goes for anymore. I need to check that before I put it on the panel. But I didn't have time due to cream pancake, if I may say so myself. But it is one of the more cheaper that you can start out with, but still has a decent recording quality. What you have next to it is a little röd, and if you are Nordic, you know that means red. It's a Swedish brand of microphones that are very good for recording, podcast, music, all the things. I have used them almost exclusively, except for one mic that was donated to me. This little one is a newer model that is about this size, small, portable, very nice, handy. You can take it with you if you want to. And it has good sound. Again, it's a USB mic, so keep that in mind. Do you have any experience with the blue one?
Yeah, I started out with a blue snowball, and some of the older versions even have 3 settings on the back. One for close range, one for a bit further out, so it'll record further out, and then one for all around sound recording. Believe it or not, technically the newer ones have it too. They just don't have the switch anymore. So I don't know why they seem to have decided not to use that. But yeah, and I also have a Rode mic now, which I mainly use because it is good. But they do pick up a lot. They're way more sensitive. So if you get one, be aware that you may want to make your space a little bit more padded. Because yeah, the blue one won't pick up as much, the Rode definitely.
Yeah, unless you want to do it in a blanket form.
Yeah, I mean it's comfy then, at least.
And warm.
And warm. So good for winter, not so much for summer.
Next one, please.
If it comes to background noises, it can also be in most European countries you have 3-phase electricity, so maybe try a different room if you have some buzzing from a microphone, or if you use a laptop, try it without being plugged in, because a lot of notebooks don't have the grounding phase, so they can have a little bit of phantom electricity on the USB ports. So it can sometimes be better or make a difference if you record on a notebook, if it's plugged in or if it's run on battery.
Yeah, I forgot to mention our great pusher of buttons is also an audio. What's it
Editor.
called? Yeah, thank you very much. So he knows a little bit about that as well. Here we have another recommendations from Silver Quill. I forgot to put his head next to it. The Zoom H1N portable recorder. I have no experience with it, so I can't really tell, but he has told me that it's been great to use when he has things he needs to say, or it's for panels, or if you need something to record because it's a time limit, and then you can walk up to the person, hey, I need this line, can we deliver this line, and other shenanigans. See, I have noted down it's around €80-ish. I don't remember what it was in dollars. Next one, you have the one I'm currently using, which is the Blue Yeti. It's more on the expensive side, but that one also has settings for like a podcast with 2 people, just yourself, the whole room, or specifically one instrument. The whole room is also more for instruments and people. So it's very interesting, but I permanently kept it on one person because voice acting. So I can recommend that one, but again, it's a USB. Keep that in mind. But it's a very good one, which is why I put my mustache mean face on. Next one, please. Headsets. I cannot put enough emphasis on correct headsets. But you can start to share what you have.
I admit some headsets nowadays actually are quite good. There are some, but you do not want to record with them if you're doing it for a project. They're fine for video calls and average calls, but for actual recording, don't use them. They pick up every mouth noise at the worst, so you end up just doing ASMR. And you don't want to do that. That will create quite a lot of havoc for editors. So yeah, they sound great in gaming, they sound great in others, but as I have a lot of family calls, because I'm from Northern Ireland, but I live in Germany, and during those calls, all of my family members have headsets or earphones or whatever, and or just their phone mics, and they don't sound good. And I've actually been told the only person that they can continuously understand is me, because I have a proper mic. So just avoid headsets and things unless it's like really last minute recording and they need it for some reason and doesn't need to be good. But yeah, just avoid headsets for recording.
Very much. That is also why there's a big red X over those type of headsets, because sometimes, yay, the program decides to take the wrong mic. And then you have been recording for 2.5 hours on the wrong mic.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking, you're just continuing to talk the new line all the time. It's that you have to do 3 to 5 different versions of one line in 2.5 hours. And now you know it can barely hear anything, or the sound is wrong, or you sound like a ghost. And you just have to delete the whole thing and start over. So when you record, for the love of ponies, use a headset listening only, and connect your microphone. And always double check your input and output before you start recording. It will save you a lot of headaches and tears.
I mean, you can sometimes tell, like, there have been times when my mic decides that it wants to play, it's like Discord messes with it, and it starts going glitchy, glitchy, glitch, and you can sometimes see in Audacity that that's happening. So pay attention to the actual recording as you're recording as well. Because you may notice, oh, wait a second, why is that suddenly this peaking for some reason? Like, I shouldn't be peaking, I'm whispering, or something like that. So do keep an eye on Audacity as well, or whatever you're recording with.
So for headsets, we have Notscare TX100 closed-back studio monitor headphones, noise isolating headphones. The reason you need, or it's recommended with noise cancelling, is because when you're sitting there going over your 3-hour-long sound file, you're not sure, okay, what is actually on the file and what was outside my door. Which is very important, because suddenly you thought, oh no, that was just outside, and then you have a child screaming in a recording, ruining your take. The other one we have is the one I use, which is the Victor, I cannot pronounce, SIH stereo isolation headphones. They are more expensive, but they have also lasted me about 5 years, and they're still pristine. Next.
Well, yeah, next.
If you don't plan to use your headset mic normally, you can also completely deactivate it in the Windows settings. You don't have to pop it, the program can switch.
Pro.
Yeah,
Or-
but it might go back and forth if you reconnect the mic. I've had that problem.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you have it, but it is a chance, just so you know. Some recommended PayPal that can help you do some more high-level voice acting. Before I start on this long list of people, Midnight or Prof, if you guys have anyone that you recommend, please feel free.
None immediately come to mind. Bear in mind, she jumped this on me literally yesterday.
You've done this before.
Yeah, let's do
It's not our first time.
point. But yeah, I'm afraid not. I think you've got everyone. I was just thinking of.
Yeah. So the first one is just some random guy on YouTube. He has a lot of useful videos to do anything from, yeah, as it says, parody, comedy, and voice acting itself. Also how to be able to improv when it's needed, because sometimes your best takes are not the ones that they have written down on their, what's it called in the script?
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes the best one comes when you're improvisation. You also have Ellie Ray. Is there anyone here who doesn't know Ellie Ray by now? You don't know her?
I know.
That's very nice. So you can see she was Miss Main, she was some other characters, she also is Grandma Figgy, if I'm saying it right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, Grandma Figgy. And I'm sadly, rest in peace, G5, but if G6 comes around and are good, I have a personal hope that she will voice something there as well, because she's amazing, and if you've ever met her at a con, you know she makes the con just
She's real
way up.
life. She's real life Pinkie Pie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So she is a little golden star I think we should appreciate. The other guy we have, she does, you can go group with Ellie Ray, you can have one-on-one lessons, you can have help with making demos, you can have help in, what's it called, group?
Group lessons?
Yeah, group lessons or workshops. So her website is ellieray.com, straightforward, very easy. And you know, you can also maybe ask her if you ever see her at a con, like, hey, I heard you give lessons or teach. Where can I find information? If she has any other than websites, English, yes. And then we have Bill Deweese. He is a guy that has done professional voice acting for also as long as Ellie Ray, I think, like 30, 40 years at least. He has uncountable many YouTube videos of how to do voice acting professionally or just by yourself. He also had live streams on YouTube from time to time where you can ask him directly. Highly recommended because I basically spammed all his videos in the start, just like, okay, what can I learn, what can I learn, what can I learn, what can I learn? So one thing I want you to remember, even if you're not going professionally, voice acting is a continuing grind that will never stop. It's the windmill that keeps going, and the only thing that stops it is when you stop. And if you stop, it's not necessarily that that windmill is going to start up again. So if you want to do this properly, keep going, don't give up. Like I think the voice actor for Glim Glam actually said on a GalaCon some years ago that she had made a percentage-ish on how much rejection or denying of jobs she would get. Not because of skill level, but just sometimes your voice is just not the right fit for a character. She had 80% rejections. So if you are sensitive to negative feedback or constructive criticism or just rejection in general, either buckle yourself up or maybe rethink not to do this, because you're gonna need to understand that it's not necessarily the ability, sometimes it's just not the right fit. Like, you can't expect somebody who naturally sounds like Fluttershy to suddenly start sounding like Rainbow Dash if they don't put in the acting part. Not everybody can change their voice. You only need one good voice to do voice acting. But if you can do more, that is a very big plus and hopefully land you more roles. But again, it's not necessary. Some people get around with just one voice. And yes, also Midnight is very good. You can ask her advice as well.
Thank you.
Makes sense? Yeah? No, sorry, I went too fast. Did you
No.
want to say anything else?
I think you actually basically covered it.
Ah.
Yeah. She said good.
As I mentioned earlier, voice acting is something for everybody. You can do it no matter your age, your gender, your whatever else you identify as. And never stop joking around. As you can see in these photos, people look crazy. If you're afraid to look silly, then you're in the wrong business. And again, it's voice acting. You can be comfortable in your booth alone, doing as many retakes as you want to, instead of being on stage, where if you do something wrong, it goes down in the drain. Yay, I know acting.
Yeah.
So the thing is, looks doesn't matter, who you are doesn't matter, where you're from doesn't matter, or your status in society doesn't matter. What matters is the effort you put into it and your voice. If you respect your voice and you respect yourself, you will come a long way. A little exercise Ellie Ray told me about was the feeling wheel, which it's kind of hard to see because it's quite small. But thefeelingwheel.com is where you can find it. It basically is, as the word say, it's a wheel of feeling. So Midnight, can you choose one emotion for me in this inner circle?
In the inner circle, okay. Surprised.
Inner, yeah, there.
Yeah.
Okay, how many emotions do you guys think are within a surprise? Of course, you can see some on the screen, which is startled, confused, amazed, and excited. How many of those are positive? Just shout.
Amazed.
Half.
Two? Yeah?
All four.
All four. You would say startled is a positive emotion.
Or surprise. Yeah.
Yeah, but surprised, there are different types of surprise, which is why it's categorized into 4 different ones. Being startled. Can you do an example on being startled? Yeah. Can you do an expression of being surprised?
Hey!
See the difference? Let's think angry. And then we have a distant angry. How do you guys think that would look? Do you think that would look the same as let down type of angry? Or the frustrated type of angry? You probably saw the opening ceremony.
Yeah.
Did you see when Pancake or Overcheck got frustrated? How that kind of shook her whole body? And then if Midnight can show us distant angry.
I don't know, just quiet, glary.
Yeah?
I heard about these things happening far away. We are going to deal with their trouble.
Yeah, you hear him? Calm, but you can hear it in his voice, how it's almost growling. Like he's containing, but in the body, it's standing still, it's calm, but the voice itself is shaking. That is one of the things that makes the difference between a voice actor and an actor. A lot of actors, when they have tried to go over to animation and voice acting, complains that, oh no, I can't visualize, I can't move around, I can't do this, I can't do that. And like Johnny Depp, we love him, he's awesome, but he needed to actually act out all his scenes to be able to voice act them for a Rango movie. You can Google it if you don't believe me. He did an amazing job, no worries there. But a voice actor are able to pull off that in their booth, in their sleepwear, with the hair messy bun or half asleep or something. You should be awake, but you get the point. The voice actor is reliant on their mind, on their creativity and their willingness to look crazy and give it your all, because the only tool you have, the only communication you have is your voice and your emotions. When you're an actor, you have your full body, you have your clothing, you have your facial expressions, you have the things around you. When you're a voice actor, you only have your voice.
Yeah.
Have anything else to add when it comes to you and your voice?
You will look silly. You will look silly no matter what. And don't be afraid in some ways. Like, there's obviously a difference between film acting and pantomime acting. But voice acting, I would argue, is relatively close to being on stage acting, because you need to nearly and if you overdo it, then you can listen back and go, okay, that was a bit much, and tone it down. It's better to go too hard than with the emotion than slightly, because otherwise you're not going to come across well at all.
Mm-hmm. Very good point. Thank you. Next one, please. Avoid this. It is what it's supposed to say. And I guess most of you who haven't been on this panel before is like, why is that guy choking himself? The thing is, sadly, a lot of actors do this when they try to voice act, when they're getting strangled. they actually strangle themselves. And that can damage your vocal cords almost permanently, depending on how much you do it. So that's a big no. You just basically have to you have to tighten it without using outside force, because then it's similar to when you're trying to cough, but without the air going out of you.
Yeah.
So please don't do that. Do you want to tackle one of these? I think you know most of them.
Well, I think it's pretty obvious. Smoking, vaping does not help your voice. Oh.
There's one I'm very concerned about, the milk. What about milk? What does it do to my voice?
The thing is, milk and milk products, this doesn't necessarily affect everyone, but some, is that it puts a layer of, I don't have a proper word for it in English, but mucus or some kind of slimy layer over your vocal cords, so it changes your voice. So right before recording, or an hour before recording, don't have any milk products if you find out that this affects your vocal cords. If it doesn't, have fun, have all the ice cream and yogurt and milk you want. Have fun. The same goes for the citrus and fast food or sodas. It even affects with sodas. The fast food, again, the fat lays on your vocal cords, changes your voice. I think most people here knows about the alcohol and the so-called whiskey voice.
Unless that's what you're going for, but
Yeah,
I still
sure,
would advise it.
No worries.
And then obviously smoking, it does affect your voice.
Not just your voice, but also your lungs. A very, forgotten thing about voice acting is that you actually need a decent cardio, because you need a lot of oxygen in your voice, because you're not just breathing with your chest oxygen, you're also using your side and your middle ground, or your middle floor, I think it's called. Because that one helps you making a lot of, because it's different when you talk down here, and there's different when you talk up here. So that is not just, you can actually train your vocal range to go both up and down and evolve further, but that takes a lot of daily dedication. Next one, please. So some recommended books. I have read some of the Autonomy of the Voice and Singing Athlete, but I haven't finished them. So the Singing Athlete is focusing a lot on how your whole body is affecting your voice and your singing, for that matter. And that is very important. I think Blacken knows a little bit about that if you warm up your body before a set, it makes the after effects a little kinder.
Definitely.
The autonomy of the voice is helping you understand the biological that is happening in your voice when you're talking, and also a little bit how more to maintain it. Voice acting for dummies sounds insulting, but it's really good. I promise you, don't put yourself too high on a pedestal. That book is good. It can help you both professionally and as hobby, especially if you live in America. But even if you don't live in America, it has been really helpful for me. I still use it as like a lexicon and like, where was that thing? So, highly recommended. The only thing I haven't been able to read is transgender voices, because I haven't been able to find it in Norway. I heard good recommendations for it, and even if you're not transgender, this book can be good for you because of the training of going up or down with your vocal range. So, just because you're not transgender doesn't mean you can't get the book. And then Get Mic'd is a program that Ellie Ray does together with, I need to write down her name. I think it's Deborah, but she's a very lovely person, very good voice actor as well. Getmic.com, there you will find her name, you will find her courses, there are other things you can do, everything from, again, if you don't know what a demo is, I think I should have, I thought I put demo on this, but I need to add that slide. Demo is basically maximum 2 minutes.
Yeah, I think it's usually a minute or a minute and a half.
Yeah. Where you just have a line with basically every voice you can think of that you're able to pull off. to basically be your calling card, like, hey, this is what I can do. Never sound edit those too much, except for taking away voice. Or if you are really dedicated, you maybe want some Christmas sleigh bells, if you're like doing that, whoa, 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 you know. But a demo is basically a calling card that you give out to people if you're not doing casting calls. Casting calls are also where you usually find your job in this fandom. Just go to YouTube, casting call, My Little Pony. Also one of the ways I found them, they're YouTube,
Sure.
where you apply for roles and then you see if you get something or not. You can ask if you don't get a role, like, hey, I'm still learning. If you have time, I would greatly appreciate some feedback. What did I do bad? What did I go wrong? Go right? So that I can learn and do better next time. If they have time, they will respond. But you gotta remember, they might have 100 people applying for the same role as you, so they might not have time to get back to you. Then again, that is nothing personal on you, so.
A demo is also a good way to judge how far you've come. I remember doing one way back, probably around when we met, and it was the years later that I actually did another demo, went, oh wait, I have one already, let's see. Oh. And you just see how far you've come. They're short, they're good to have, just in general,
Yeah.
and they're good to have.
Semi-professionals make a new demo every 6 months. Just to keep that in. Do you have any feedback on demos? I don't know if you have edited anyone.
Not enough.
Okay.
Only some audiobook chapters.
Yeah. Next slide, please. So that is the main part of this panel. We still have Q&A, so feel free if you have any questions that we may not have talked about, but you're still curious about, or any other questions related to fandom work or voice acting in general. Yeah.
What's the worst advice you've received in terms of voice acting?
One that I would say is not safe for Chris.
Okay.
And that was basically, if you want to get known fast, do
Not.
the P word, the horse P word.
Yeah.
Okay. Jeez.
And I told them straight to their face that either you have a cruel sense of humor, or this guy was very obvious male, and I don't know if it was intentional or not, but for a girl to do not safe for work stuff, 99% of the time you will never get that off your name. So if you ever dip your toe into that water, be aware that every time somebody do a background check on you or just want to see what work you've done before, that will pop up. If you are okay with that, sure, more power to you, great. But know that that will be a permanent marker. So think hard and long about it. But again, if you choose, great, have fun. As far as I know, some people who do that have a great time and they make a lot of money. So that is the worst advice I have gotten, and I told the guy to the face that either you are kidding me or you are just cool. And then I kind of explained it to him and he was like, eh, so I don't know.
Some people just don't learn.
Very much. What about you?
I'm trying to think, but I luckily started out with barely any experience. It was only when I met Visual Pony that I got sort of advice from him, because he had already been working on audiobooks and things beforehand, and he helped me with different YouTube. So he's the one that mainly helped to train me. So I never really listened to anyone else. I was just like, okay.
Yeah,
These
that
are-
is not necessarily a bad thing, but the wise one says always take knowledge from different sources.
Yeah.
Because if you take it from only one stream, it will be
Yeah, exactly. Rigid.
Yeah, rigid and unbendable. And if you never go out of your comfort zone, you will never grow as a person or a voice actor. I can tell you guys, to be honest, being in this getup and playing an evil character is very far out of my comfort zone. And I know my two friends there can vouch for it. But it's something that is a very valuable experience, and I'm very grateful that I can have this experience and this learning with such a safe environment and amazing staff and cons and friends. If I didn't feel safe on Holland PonyCon, or PonyCon Holland, because I always say it the wrong way, I wouldn't be able to do this. I know that if I have any problems or anything, I can always come to them. And I wholeheartedly believe if anyone on this con has a problem, I know the staff will try their best to help you. Because just like all bronies that are true bronies, we care about each other. And that is what this fandom is about. Fun and great times and fun.
That's why I'm on your team.
Yes, the evil one is the wholesome one for some reason. Yes?
I have one question. In case of voice acting, if you have another job and do it and try to do it as well, something additional, how spontaneously do you have to be ready to, well, basically, are you required to cancel a day on the other job and get in trouble, or is how early do you learn that you have to record something?
Usually they tell you this is your deadline, and they always prefer that you deliver before the deadline in case retakes are needed. So if you want to take a note out of my book, start recording as soon as possible, and then give you safe days to re-record. So as fast as possible is the norm.
But don't, stop your job to record. Just record after.
Yeah, also day jobs comes first, and then it's your hobby. Until voice acting becomes your day job.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I've had months and times recording for Scribbler and things, and
Forgotten about it?
no. Just maybe a week or two beforehand, I go, oh fuck, never mind. Forgot to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, good advice. Do it as soon as you can. Even if it's just a line, even if it's just a couple of lines, ASAP.
What has kind of helped me as well when it comes to getting a character, it's different for everybody. First of all, read the whole script, not just your lines, because you need the context, you need how the people are reacting, because you just see words on the page, but you have to imagine being in that situation, yeah. And then you need to know how that character would feel. Some things that can happen is basically just walking around your apartment or wherever you live and say it out loud. Some people, it helps to get into the get-up of the character and play around until you find a voice, unless the voice has already been selected. And then just get to know the character so that you can help bring it to life. Because I think I talked about it at the Dutch fun panel. If not, then I'm mixing it with another one. Voice acting and acting are playing pretend, like you did when you were a kid. A lot of people say that acting are lying. No. The difference between lying and acting, at least the acting we're doing, is that people are aware of that we're acting. We are playing a character, which is why we are playing pretend like we did as kids. Just higher quality, hopefully. Yes.
When it comes to recording a set of different voices, emotions, etc., as your card basically, is there like a set of things one could say, for example, if you want to go into voice acting in general and then apply for a role in some crime movie and you come up with sentences which state clearly that you are talking to a pony or something, they might think of you as a bit strange. Is there a set of general lines that can be used for such a general?
Are you
voice
thinking for
introduction?
the demo, or are you thinking
For
for when you are making an audition for
Or if you
the
just
casting?
want to show your set of voices without knowing what kind of role one might end up with. You just want to...
that would be your demo.
Yeah.
That would be your demo.
This-
To be honest, I have not met any bad things by having one line that might be Pony, because again, you have to show that you can do a cartoon character, an action character, a sad character, wise old sage character. So if you have one where you say, "Oh, Rainbow Dash, that was so awesome," like you're feeling like nobody is gonna hate you for that. Of course, if you do meet or do send your voice reel or demo to a judgmental person, then that is more the judgmental person.
And are they usually, is it common to quote existing lines, or do you better make something up yourself, or they get thousands of
That is
"you
what-
shall not pass" here or something, and
If-
they know, oh, lazy person just quoting a known line, or should you instead invent something?
Inventing yourself saves you a lot of trouble, because then you're less likely to be compared to the original line. But again, have fun and do what you feel confident in. And then again, like there are other voice actors or professional vocal coaches that can guide you to help you make a voice reel. Ellie Ray, for example, helped making one of mine. I think that's the one that automatically plays on my YouTube. So you can have help with it as well. And you can ask other voice acting friends to help you make one, and like, hey, I made a new demo, can you take a look at it and give me feedback? That is the one thing as well. Do you have anything else to add to that, Nina?
No, actually, you covered more right what was in my head. So
Ah,
that works.
Yeah?
Yeah, my question is it different in some way when you voice act in more than one language? Like in your case, you do English and norska.
Yeah,
so,
That is all yours.
is it, is it some kind different with words or how you feel or something at all?
The only difference I would say is what's it called? The bureaucracy and the system in what they prefer. In Norway, it's ridiculously hard to be a professional voice actor because they only want you in their studios, and that means you either have to live in Oslo, which is I think most Norwegians, except the people living in that city, is going to agree that Oslo is the hoop hole of Norway. It's the least liked city. It's safe, it's okay, but if you go to Norway, don't go to Oslo for sightseeing. But then, yeah, you have to live in Oslo because that's where they have the recording studio, unless you're able to, or like 90% of their local studios for video games, movies, etc., etc. So in Norway, the difference is that they are very, very selective. In America or online, they have a lot more people to choose from. It's a lot easier to get jobs. So if you are trying in your own country, you have to understand that it's not going to work like the English ones, and they have higher standards. Like I might not even be able to do proper professional work due to me not having a degree in theater and acting. Yes?
Sometimes I'm also wondering if there's a different approach to voice acting in the different countries. For example, in Germany, I think there are some very well-known voice actors who have one voice, and that one voice you always recognize that voice. It's very strongly linked to certain actors, for example. And I must admit, when I got into My Little Pony, I just couldn't wrap my mind around the fact that Applejack and Rainbow Dash are voiced by the same person, or Fluttershy and Pinkie Pie. There seems to be a very different mentality there in Germany. One voice, and we want that voice always, which can have very strange results. For example, in one movie about Joan of Arc, she's voiced by Bart Simpson, and you always hear Bart Simpson. You always expect Joan of Arc to say "ay caramba" or something.
Yeah. That is one of the backfires of only having one voice. But again, point proven. You can get a lot of work with only one voice. Yes?
I'll prove that point even more because I'm French, and in France it feels like there's like maybe 50 voice actors for everything. So it can be like TV shows, ads, movies. So yeah, so often when you just hear an ad on TV, you're like, okay, so another voice from here, there, there. So yeah, just to emphasize the point that yes, one voice can get you very far if you find the right opportunity, I guess.
Yeah. I saw you had your hand earlier, sorry.
No problem. My question has to do with the work. You told us that you read the whole script to get a glimpse of the characterization of your character. But there is more to a character than his voice. There's his mimic, his gesture, the smell, the clothing. Do you have the right to ask
Yes.
stuff about? Yeah. Okay.
You have. When you are voicing the character, you have a right to ask, like, hey, I kind of need to know how this character looks to make sure that I do a decent job. Usually, a picture is included. And if they have time, you can also ask them, hey, I would like some more background information if possible. But again, a picture and the baseline of the personality or important points you will usually be given when you actually get the part. You may not get all of it when you are applying, auditioning, but you will usually get that when you actually get the part. So, but that's good that you asked because I forgot to mention that.
Thank you.
I voiced Pink Eye, what's her name? Pink Eyes, right?
Poppy Smiles.
Poppy Smiles, thank you. I voiced Poppy Smiles and Pink Eyes, and at the beginning, I don't read Fallout Equestria. I don't read them. I don't like the stuff because it's just not my cup of tea. So originally, visual was like, okay, here's the lines, here's the emotions. Here's a picture and here's the emotions that I want. The problem was that wasn't enough for me. I had to then go to the actual source and read it. So literally the only Fallout Equestria story I've listened to, not written, because I needed to know what exactly is going on here, not just she's happy at this point, she's sad at this point, she's asking for her mom at this point. So that's, yes, you definitely should ask, you definitely should get more information if you feel as though the emotions that they've written down is not enough. And make sure not to say Billy Bots.
Yeah.
She says bully bots a lot in Poppy Smiles, and I kept on saying Billy Bots or Billy Robots, and it really, it was annoying for you.
Yeah, the proof is in the eye of all of you. You saw his reaction.
But yeah.
In all fairness, but that is the thing. When you are recording, is that mine?
Yeah.
Just stop.
Oh, I snoozed it apparently.
Yeah. That just means we have 5 minutes left, I guess. Yeah, question?
What was the best time doing with Blitzy?
Huh?
Best time doing with Blitzy?
Oh, with Lightning Bliss?
Yeah, Blitzy.
Oh, we had a lot of fun shenanigans. I think, if it's okay, I share a personal one. It was before, or after a BabsCon, and she was showing me a little bit around where she lived, and they had something called Earth Burger. Earth Burger is a vegan burger place that had the most ridiculously delicious burger ever. I've gotten completely hooked on that shenanigan, and it's only in America. I'm so sad. It's so good. They even had milkshake that I could have that actually tasted like cow milkshake.
Okay, that's
It's so crazy delicious, and she and the others were just laughing because every time they talk about it, or me maybe visiting them again, they're like, Earth Burger, and I'm like, yes! So that is a fun moment. And she also made my nectars, which is why she's also credited.
She also made my vectors too.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Then, and Silver made his own vectors, so he's already there.
Yeah.
Anything else? Yeah.
You talked earlier about not being afraid of being ridiculed and things like that. I don't know what you think about it, but one thing that helps me, even though it's not quite the same thing, is going to the karaoke in the convention and just singing with everyone else. It's a good, even if you don't think you can sing or anything, I think it's a good way to start putting yourself out there and like giving it your all.
Yeah, very much.
Surrounded by people who like you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
And I think it makes it easier to do it again, but like when you're back in your own house.
Yeah. In the very start, I thought that I sounded like a squawking bird.
Oh.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then these two and others like started telling me and showing me proofs of that, you know, you are actually doing a decent job, and that also helped. Because anybody, also hopefully they mean it, but anybody can say like, oh, you did great, it's fantastic. But when it is people that you know won't give you comfortable lies, even if they're well meant, or you know that they will tell you to your face if you messed up, then it means a lot more. Because even if constructive criticism can hurt, it is worth its weight in gold.
Yes.
Yeah?
I mean, in that context, the own voice, hearing the own voice recorded.
I hate it! Oh.
Yeah,
Yes.
same here. I mean, it doesn't sound anything like it sounds now. If I had a recording of it and then I'm told, yes, that's what your voice is.
A little fun fact about that is because when you hear your voice, you're actually hearing it from inside you. So you're basically hearing an echo version of yourself. Well, everybody hears something else. Because for me, I feel like my voice is low. But when I hear it on recording, it's like, who's this pipsqueak? Pun intended, very much.
But yeah, whenever I grew up hearing my voice all the time because I got recorded quite a lot for my singing. And so I was relatively used to it, but even now, I'm like, what did you... I probably wouldn't be able to pick myself out of a group if we were at a group recording or something. You just have to get used to it, especially if you're editing your own stuff. You will cringe. You'll be like, why did I do it that way? What on earth's going on here? And it'll just take practice and training. But yeah, you will be embarrassed first. Maybe forever, but at least at first.
Forever! And some people make memes about it. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, learn to not take yourself too seriously. It'll help you cope.
Not just with voice acting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Never be shy to make a little fun of yourself, to be able to laugh with yourself about yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, and keep your bloopers if you can. If you're
Oh
one
yeah,
of those-
people love
Yeah.
bloopers.
If you are one of those people that make really funny bloopers, usually when I mess up, I just go.
Yeah, that's a good way to indicate like that was a bad blooper. Remember to delete it later. I do the same. Like, what?
Exactly, but then
Any noise works. It doesn't have to be.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Or those I use a lot as well.
then there are others who love to swear, so that can be quite fun. Or when you mess up completely.
Yeah, Queen Pancake does not approve of swearing. Well, that's true.
But it also sometimes gives the editor a little bit of a laugh, and sometimes if you have finished with our original work, we make it a 1 or 2 minute side project, also send this back.
Yeah. The blooper
Be aware.
reels are fun.
Do not ever make your thing and then say, oh, and then mess up and then go, or, you know, improvise and then say, editor, don't put that in.
Because they will.
Don't. They of course will, or they'll keep it and put it in a side project.
On a blooper.
So always say that if you want to have it in.
That works as well. That works as well. Yeah.
We do not endorse manipulation, be honest. But on your own accord, on your own shenanigans, have fun.
Because visual has had that happen, and the voice actor later was like, "You actually put that in." It was all good fun. There was nothing wrong with it, like anything. But yeah,
Just put it on bloopers.
So,
Yeah.
don't say that.
But it could be that your voice, that the editor thinks, she is a child, she should say bullybots, she says billybots, maybe it fits to a child.
Yeah, like horsetail.
You never let me go. Let that go.
No. Then we're too many hours.
Friendship.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that is so good. So, what's the time?
Time would be roughly an hour.
Yeah. So thank you so much for attending. I hope that helps.